Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Mary and I make videos about being a mom and being a Jewish mom. And today I'm sharing all about biblical self-love or Jewish self-love. I asked on my Instagram, which if you're not following me, definitely go do that, what videos you guys wanted to see, and this was definitely a highly requested one. So I'm super excited to deliver it to you today. As I'm sure you guys all know, self-love and self-care is a huge trend at the moment, and that's a very good thing. People are focused, especially women, on taking care of themselves and putting themselves first. And as a mom, as a person, I totally get the need for that. There's so much societal expectations, especially for women, to put everything aside and do what needs to be done for their children first and for their families first. And often that means that the mom is the last person to get to shower, to buy some new clothes, to take a long bath. Yes, I'm focused on cleanliness here. To sit down and have a cup of tea. All of those restorative practices to just rest really are natural and beautiful thing and so necessary in our crazy world. But I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what Judaism has to say on the topic. Of course, Judaism is an ancient religion, and this self-care trend is very new and modern. But there actually is a lot that Jewish life has to say about how to take care of yourself. So the first thing I want to say about this topic is that a fundamental value in Judaism and Jewish life is caring for others, not the self so much. Jewish life is all about being here in the now, not focusing on the world to come, but to focus on improving this world and to take care of each other, to take care of animals, to take care of the world, to take care of other people. That is the most fundamental way of living a Jewish life. In Judaism, there's the term tzaddik, or righteous person, and the most righteous person is the one who lives Torah every day, who lives the values of Torah every day, and that is all about taking care of others. So now that we've talked about that essential component, let's dive into a little bit of the self-care. So the reason that taking care of yourself is so essential in Judaism is because we are all created in the image of God, B'Tselem Elohim. So anything that's done to hurt yourself is hurting God, because we all have God within us. That's a central concept to what we believe. God is one, but we all carry elements of God in us. So for example, the reason why you can't get a tattoo in Jewish law, it's against Jewish law to have a tattoo on your body, is because we borrow our bodies from God. They're not ours to own and ours to hurt. So in the same way, when you don't take care of your body, you're doing a disservice to this, divine presence that has given you this life. So I like to think of that when you see your children and you just want the very best for them, and like if they fall and get hurt, it's heartbreaking sometimes, but for yourself, you kind of lose that. It's like, oh, whatever, who cares about me? But I think if you carry around this idea that some divine presence cares about you, and that there's a reason that you're here and that you're special and there's only one of you, then suddenly taking care of yourself is elevated and it becomes that much more important and meaningful. So what are the ways in Jewish life that we take care of ourselves? One of the primary ways as women that we take care of ourselves is to go to the mikveh once a month. The mikveh, I have a whole separate video where I'll go, I'll link it down below, but the idea is that after you've had your period each month, you go for this renewal experience. It's very physical to go into this body of water, to be cleansed and renewed. And there's a lot of text in Judaism about the connection between women and the new moon and cycles and all that interconnectedness between a woman's spirit and soul with the natural world. So there's a lot of elements of self-care in that as well. Taking that time, every month to just focus on yourself is really built into Jewish tradition and custom. Of course, there's all sorts of interpretations about why that is, and is it really a male-dominated thing? But the way that I experience Judaism today, the way that I interpret those texts, is about taking time for myself and really taking care of myself each month to really align myself with my body and what's going on. I especially related to this when I was pregnant and really felt out of my body and out of control, and I really loved going into the Themikveh during that time before my son was born. So one of the most prominent quotes about self-care in Judaism is from Leviticus, and it's love your neighbor as yourself. And really the primary purpose of that quote is about loving thy neighbor, but a lot of rabbis and Jewish philosophers have taken that to talk about what this love yourself component is. It's almost like a given, like you have to love yourself before you can take care of others. So although the text is often used to remind people to take care of others, that assumption, that beginning of the text is that you have to take care of yourself first, and that's a fundamental component. Another Jewish text that I love in terms of self-care is the Adon Olam, which is said at the end of many services in synagogues, and the last line of it, which I've mentioned before because this is a line of prayer that I used to meditate, is Adonai li velo ira, which is God is with me, I'm not afraid. So I think that's also a self-care idea, that you're not alone in this world, but that God is with you. So when you think of it like that, it's like need to be taken care of because God is with me, and I have this responsibility and obligation to live a whole and healthy life because I'm with God in this life together. So one of my rabbis, Rabbi Feinstein in Los Angeles, expressed this concept so eloquently in a passage that he wrote, and we say it every year. We read it on Passover. It's in our family Haggadah. So I thought I would just read it to you guys because he has such an amazing way with words, and he expresses exactly what I'm trying to say here. So I'm going to just read it, and I'd love to hear any of your guys' thoughts on these words. When God created the world, everything was in its place, beautiful, complete, and perfect. Only one thing was missing. The world was dark, static, lifeless, without energy or motion. So God breathed life and light and energy into the world, and the world came alive. The problem was God so loved the world, God breathed in too much energy, too much light, and like blowing too much air into a balloon, the world exploded in a huge big bang. That's our world, taught Isaac Luria. We live in a world of broken pieces, shattered fragments, shards, and ruin. But each one of these broken pieces still carries sparks of God's light. Our job as human beings is to gather the pieces together. Tikkun, the job of repairing God's broken world, is our task in this world. There is a corner of the world that only you, with your abilities and interests and aptitudes, only you can make whole. That's the meaning of your life. That's how you live a life of meaning. The answer to the question, what's the meaning of life, isn't a philosophical discourse or theological formula. The answer is found in doing, in acting. That's the deeper truth of the Jewish tradition. The language of meaning is made up of deeds, not words. Meaning is located in a pattern of sacred acts. The first Lubavitcher Rebbe, Shneur Zalman, taught that there will always be moments in life when we're ready to give up and lie down in defeat. We give up on the world, on God, on the meaning. When those moments come, taught the Rebbe, you must go and do one good deed, one act of selfless loving. Go hold the hand of a sick person. Go teach one child to read. Go feed one hungry person. Fill your hands with tikkun, with goodness, and suddenly you will feel God's presence in your hand. So to me, this is the strongest concept of self-love that I've heard and that I've experienced, which is that when you're feeling that need for self-love and self-care, sometimes reaching out and helping somebody else is the best way to achieve that. And that's kind of the Jewish ideal, that to put yourself out there and care for someone else is the best way of taking care of yourself, because you find so much meaning in doing so. It fills you up and it feels so good that becomes the best way to renew yourself, to reward yourself, and to take care of yourself. So I hope you guys like this video. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments and discuss this more with you guys. Thank you so much for watching it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!